talking, baby, talk the hours away. Keep talking, baby, talking early or late. Keep talking, baby, don't turn your cheek. Keep talking, baby, talking dirty or sweet. We did, remember discussing it with Jeff before we started recording, and it was just to sort of, I really like production, I'm trying to think of the producer, I really like Ethan Johns' production style, and just sort of had listened to a few albums by people like Ryan Adams and Ray LaMontagne and Laura Marling that Ethan Johns had produced, and just sort of stuff where the vocal is sort of takes the forefront, but then there's still room for the instruments to kind of you know, to really fill it out and take the center stage as well. So perhaps that, and I just wanted a bit more of an acoustic sound, and something that featured a lot of vocal harmonies, including female harmonies. Won't you come on over, come a little closer, keep talking, baby, when we're all alone. Justin Bernasconi and Kat Canteri from the Stilsons, who also run Mountain King Music, are both. Justin had worked here with Jeff on Justin's album Winter Pick in the last couple of years, and then Justin and Kat have been playing in Ali's live band and Alison Ferrier, and so I knew when it came time to record my album, I knew that those guys had we'd all been sort of doing stuff together, and we're all sort of friends and comfortable, so yeah, it does feel like a good sort of you know, little musical circle, and it just does a lot. It does a lot for your songwriting and your playing, to be surrounded by people who sort of you know, inspire you, and who kind of whose opinion you value on things. The one that I've got, the Weizenborn that I've got, is made by a guy called Tim Hackett, who I live out in the Dandenong Ranges, sort of on the outskirts of Melbourne, and Tim lives out there as well. He works for Mayton Guitars in their factory, but he likes to make sort of you know, weird and wonderful instruments in his spare time, and yeah, so I've got a Weizenborn that Tim made. It's an acoustic guitar, an acoustic instrument, so you know, I guess it's sort of the same miking techniques that you would approach a normal acoustic guitar with, largely. What I will often do as well is have the acoustic sound and then run pickup through effects, you know, bit of overdrive and delays and things like that at times, and then through a valve amp, so that sort of yeah, makes it really sing. Yeah, on this record I got into something that I haven't really used before on recordings, which is some electric bottleneck slide, because I've always always played lap steel. So I've got a Gibson electric that's set up just with a really high action and really heavy gauge of strings, and yeah, I use that as a bottleneck slide guitar on a couple of songs on this album, and yeah, just using a glass bottleneck slide, and kind of I'd been listening a lot to the Allman Brothers and Derek Trucks, and really loving that sort of those sort of sounds, so I was sort of, yeah, going for something along those lines. My main guitar on this record was my acoustic, which is this one actually, which is it's a Gibson J45 acoustic, which is, this one's from 1992. So it's yeah, it's nicely played in. I used a resonator of Jeff's. Jeff's got a great sort of guitar cabinet, so he'll get you to play a song and then duck off into the cabinet and pull out the sort of perfect guitar for that song. Interesting. The piano I didn't learn as a kid or anything like that, so I've just sort of taught myself, you know, over the years when I've had access to a piano or a keyboard. So yeah, we just used an old upright piano that Jeff Lang's got in his studio here, and yeah, piano's great for writing because it's sort of, I come from a guitar playing background, so you just sort of, you come up with different ideas on the piano, you know, different sort of chord structures and things like that than what the guitar would suggest. And then yeah, the fiddle was something that I mentioned. We had a lot of there was a bit of downtime in between everyone being available to record, so we'd sort of done the first lot of sessions for this album, and I was itchy to keep going and wanted to just finish it off, but I had to sort of wait for a couple of months until everyone was available again, so I sort of used that couple of months to practice up the fiddle, and I knew what I wanted to hear, and it was just sort of a matter of trying to sort of do a real crash course. I got some tips from a couple of fiddle playing friends, and yeah, was able to play the parts on the record, which was it was good. Gee, I guess any album you just hope to get it out to as many people as you can, and sort of you know, hopefully win some new people over to your music. It's already had some really good responses from reviewers and from radio playing it a little bit, so that's really nice. I guess whenever you make an album, you're really wrapped up in it at the time, and you know, you feel like it's the best thing you've ever done, and it's going to be great when you get it out and things. But I think it's you know, in another way, I think it's good to sort of see it as just another step along the way. And I guess my long-term sort of goal is just to keep going, you know, to keep being able to write and record, and you know, to keep working with great people like I was able to on this album, and you know, keep rolling. Well, we're touring throughout July and August. Alison Ferrier and I are going on the road with Justin Bernasconi and Kat Canteri, so that's sort of the immediate plan, and just working on some video stuff as well. A couple of videos for this album. I've been working with Lachlan Bryan on those, he's a golden guitar winning country songwriter, but he does great video stuff as well. So Lachlan and I worked together before on videos. We're got some stuff in the pipeline, and yeah, just more touring as well, and I guess once this Australian tour is out of the way, I'll look to sort of the next overseas adventure.